Well, while everybody's getting ready for free comic book day, there's going to be a lot of new comic books available for you as well. Of course, there's going to be a lot that are flying off the shelves on Wednesday, and we're here to break those down. We got plenty to get to this week. A really, really strong week from Images. It was a tough one for picking, like, what exactly we want to talk about. We had a couple titles that were ending, some new ones starting, but we're going to get into those in a little bit. But why don't you take us through Marvel, please?
Marvel had itself a week. I could
Yeah.
have done. I literally could have done all three of my books this week for Marvel. Right.
Oh, that's right. I thought that was all three.
The books that we highlight and we
You read
discuss.
Uncanny now, though. You're not caught up yet on this.
No, what I'm saying is I could have. I usually like to spread the three books that I talk about across different publishers. I could
Right.
have done them all on Marvel.
Right.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Right. So we have the Ultimates issue 23, Captain America issue 10, Uncanny X-Men issue 27. I'm not fully caught up, but I'm
Okay.
almost there.
That's what I was asking.
Yep. Wolverine, Weapons of Armageddon, issue 3. Could have talked about that book. Could have talked about Captain America, right?
America.
America. Those books were absolutely stellar.
The one thing I want to say real quick about the Uncanny X-Men, the mind fuck that started in the last issue and took shape there, it gets even more unhinged here. I could not believe, like, and it's just like he gets unhinged in a little bit this way and then a little more that way, and by the final page it was just like, what the fuck is going on? Who are these people?
Who
It's great.
are these people? Absolutely love it. We have Planet She-Hulk, issue 6, Generation X-23, issue 3, Wiccan Witches Road, issue 5, Wonderman, issue 2, Predator Bloodshed, issue 3, Deadly Hands of Kunlun, issue 3, Doom 2099, Rage of Doom, issue 1, and then the book I want to discuss this week, Nicholas, was maybe maybe the most. I'll tell you what, this book really kind of screwed me up. And that's The Punisher, issue 3, written by Benjamin Percy, with art by Jose Luis Suarez Pinto. And Pinto, sorry, I did my cute little word thing with his name, but I didn't mean to. Didn't mean to do that. It's now just a reflex.
I told you someday it was going to bite you in the ass. It's not a big deal, obviously. You caught yourself, but I told you you're going to do it accidentally and not fucking me too.
I mean, Punisher's supposed to be fucked up, right? Punisher is supposed to be violent and unnerving. And the way this issue starts, in the hospital, that whole
Oh,
opening scene, man, really, really kind of, it was very jarring.
yeah.
It really shook me up a little bit.
I don't blame you.
And then as the issue goes, Be- Benjamin's doing it. I mean, he has been doing a tremendous job, with Punisher, but especially this particular series, he's really sort of we're dealing with a Frank here who is just there's something going on. He can't figure it out. It's figuratively and literally driving him insane, right? And Frank's unhinged to begin with, right?
Yeah.
And so we get a bit of a revelation in this issue that again, like there's some imagery in this issue that 100% is just it's going to trigger some people, right? And but we get this great little dialogue. What's the guy's name? What's the other character's name there? Um,
Oh.
that locked himself in the room. It's like I'm not
Look.
coming out until you. But he has this very poignant moment, with Frank, and talk about understanding the character, right? And sort of understanding what's going on. And it's this dialogue saying, "Hey, listen, what I thought I did to you, I thought I was doing the right thing. Turns out, um, I fucked up, right? Microchip, right? Yeah, thank you." And that whole sequence I thought was like maybe some of the best Punisher writing I've ever come across, because I mean it just encapsulates Frank Castle to a T, right? So this issue just had everything. It was violent, and it was vicious, and but it also, I think, just really gives you a better understanding of Benjamin Percy's sort of take on the Punisher, right? And it's sort of like how Chip sort of understood, um, Daredevil and
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Murdock, right? And we know how Benjamin is the embodiment of Logan.
Yeah.
But there's something about how he's writing Frank and writing this series. Where it's like this guy's got
Mm-hmm.
full command of this character right now. And when you read the issue, you'll know what I'm talking about. This dialogue between Microchip and Frank, and I was just like, that's it. That is like that is the exact definition of who and what Frank is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I hadn't thought about this, but you raised an interesting point about how obviously Ben's done a lot of really good stuff over at Marvel in the past few years, but Wolverine was really for us like the big thing, and he was killing it. Then he was doing Ghost Rider, and obviously he's done like Red Hulk, and he did X Force and some other stuff. But it was like those were like Ghost Rider and Wolverine were our big standouts. Obviously, he did the Predator stuff that we've both really enjoyed as well. But when you talk about like these legacy Marvel characters, you add Punisher to the mix, and as soon as he told us about it, I was like, oh yes, like this makes total sense. If you were to like, I love those are my three favorite titles that he's done: Ghost Rider, Punisher, and Wolverine. I don't obviously it's really early with Punisher, but he's showing. I think his Ghost Rider was actually my favorite thing that he did
Mm.
of the three. And he showed great feel for Wolverine. He's done it on multiple occasions. I think he actually has a better feel for Punisher than he does Wolverine.
Yeah.
It's not like a knock on his Wolverine stuff. It's really remarkable how he is with this character, just like how he was with Johnny Blaze. It's really blowing my mind.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean the thing that blew me away about Ghost Rider was that he made me care about a character that I've never read.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like that was, but this is next level. This is excellent stuff.
Yeah. In the ending too. I know you said how like Frank is unhinged in general. Like the ending. This is as unhinged as you'll ever see Frank Castle. It's wild. And the only other
Yeah.
thing I wanted to note too was from an art standpoint, Frank
Oh yeah.
Diamata's colors. Oh, dude, they've
Mm.
been great the whole series, and it kind of talks about the vibe. It goes coincides with the vibe that Ben was trying to elicit. And when we talked to him a little while back, but the reds that he has in the background
Mm.
of this issue, oh, dude, so good, right?
Yeah, it was excellent,
Oh,
excellent all around.
yeah. All right, from DC, we got a lot of number ones from DC this week. I think one is a special, but a couple number ones still. Batman, Wonder Woman, Truth, issue 1. Justice League Intergalactic Special, issue 1. And then Swamp Thing 1989, issue 1. This is that series that got canceled, and now they're finally bringing it back into the light. So I didn't check that out. I probably will check that out at some point and see what all the buzz is about. But the number one that I did check out from DC this week is a character who I always want to be checking out as much as I can, and that's Zatanna, issue 1. This is written and drawn by Jamal Campbell, and that's also something that we're always looking for. Like whenever we see a writer, a writer artist, something that one of us is going to check out almost for sure, just because from a visual standpoint, first of all, this issue is visually stunning. This is exactly what I want to see out of a writer artist because there's like there's a fluidity that writer artists can kind of bring to their books that they can achieve. That's the best way to put it. I feel like only writer artists can do this, as opposed to like a team of like a writer and an artist as two individuals. And that's not a knock on those people. It's just you can see when it's a writer artist who's bringing their story that they have, and then they're also illustrating it as well. You can see like there's one clear vision from this one individual, and it's not a common occurrence at all. Like it's but still when it happens, it really is like it's a remarkable sight to behold, and that's what you're going to get when you pick up Zatanna issue 1. And on top of all that too, like Zatanna's taken on a new role. She's achieving a level of power that's it's notable for her and for a few other individuals, and some people are going to be gunning for as a result of that. So you got some amazing art in this, an interesting turn for the character. I'm in on this new series.
Love it. Yeah, I was gonna give it a read today, and I just got too
Check it out.
busy and
Check it out.
didn't get a chance. But I it's
Nice.
on my tablet. It's up there. I went to start it and then never got a chance to get going on that. So
Nice.
yeah, definitely want to check
Let me know
that
what
one
you
out.
think.
Will do. From Image and Skybound, we have Skinbreaker issue 8, Gunslinger Spawn issue 53, White Sky issue 3. I was surprised you didn't underline that one.
I almost did. I just I really wanted to talk about one of the number ones that was out this
Yeah, yeah.
week, and it's dude, White Sky was so good. It's
Wild.
what's
Wild.
crazy to me is just like how immersed I'm getting in this world. By the end of the issue, it's just like I'm just like, wait, what happened? And even in like the note at the end from the writer, like talking about like how the sky went white. It's like, I know it's the title of the fucking book, Joe, but I kind of forget about that because there's so many other fucking things that are going on, and it's just and it's not overwhelming. It's just it feels like we're in it with Violet and these other characters.
Yeah. It's wild, man. It is something else, and there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Feral issue 22, which
Dude.
is a flip book issue,
Yes.
right? Because I read it, I go, that was really short,
Yep.
and I thought we were getting. I guess I can say it now,
You
right?
can.
Can I?
You can.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, where are the fucking stray dogs?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, did this feel short? Flip it over. Oh, okay, gotcha. And so then you get things from the other perspective, and what a reveal we get in that.
Yep.
So holy cow! So you can read it whether you read the Stray Dog story first or the Feral story first.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff there.
Dude, I hope that's this crossover never ends. I love it. I'm so here for this shit. It's so good.
No, I want it to end because I don't want it to. You know what I mean? Like,
I hear you.
yeah. The Sacrificers issue 21.
Oh,
I Hate Fairyland issue 50. A Viking Moon issue 3. Dust to Dust issue 8. G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, Homophiles edition issue 14. Skinbreaker Treasury edition issue 8. Jesus Christ, why? Final Boss Masked Vigilante issue 1. G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, Silent Missions, Firefly issue 1. And there's 2 books. But Image, much like I know we talked about this last week. Oh, remember it used to be a time when there was like 1,000 Image books and you had a hard time getting through them all. And well, we're back at it. Image is back at it. I could have talked about 3 books from Image, right? We mentioned White Sky, Feral, right? But the book I want to discuss is Wrestle Heist. Wrestle Heist issue 5, written and drawn by Kyle Starks, and this is the finale, to that series. And man, I loved it. As a wrestling fan, right? And from the beginning, this has just been everything that I love about both wrestling and comics, right? Because wrestling is very story driven. Just even though there's a physical aspect to it. And what's always been great about Wrestle Heist is Kyle's a big wrestling fan too, so he knows, all the tropes and just all the ins and the outs and all the gimmicks, and it's a throwback to like 80s style, WWF era, when you had, like wrestling magazines, and it was just like there was a little bit of a throwback vibe to it. All the while, you're getting this really great heist story, and with this final issue, it all comes together, and you get you get that great sort of Ocean's 11 sort of reveal on how they pulled it off, and oh, the comeuppance. It's so good. I love this issue, and one of the things that Kyle did that I really love is that, like, at the end of every issue, he'll have like pages which seem like they're coming from like this fictional wrestling magazine. So it's got like interviews and quotes and like these really funny ads, and so there's a lot of really great humor in there. And one of the things it really made me laugh out loud. It's like, want more Wrestle Heist? I do too. Unfortunately, people need to buy the book. So, make sure you go out and grab the trade paperback, something to that effect, right? Because if sales of the trade paper, we've talked to creators about this all the time. Like, sometimes a book is like, it does fine, but maybe not to the level where it warrants another arc. But out of nowhere, like, the trade will sell really well and it will gain in popularity, and then you'll get to go ahead for another arc. So he's like, I got a story. I'm ready to go. Buy the trade. So I don't know. I'm assuming he was being a little cheeky, a little
Yeah.
facetious, right? But I will scream from the mountaintops when the trade comes out. If you haven't been reading this series, go buy the trade. I'm going to buy the trade. I'm going to buy the trade because I want it in the I want it out there. I want another arc of Wrestle Heist. So if I can buy the trade paperback and help in that cause, I will do so. I implore everyone else to do so. This was just so good. I absolutely love Wrestle Heist.
Yeah, and there's like just one little nugget for me. Like there's a thing that happens in this issue that totally makes sense, but at the same time, for me, didn't expect it at all. And it's just like this nice little like cherry on top for this story. It just really brought everything together. So
Yeah, it was really good.
fun series for and as a guy who's not a wrestling fan, does not have all this like experience. Like it's just there's something about there's when you're talking about like the magazine style stuff that just feels familiar as as a magazine reader and everything like that. It's all similar. So
It's a
I
lot of
enjoyed the series as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of great Easter eggs, a lot of good it's fantastic stuff.
100%. Before I talk about the book that I want to discuss this week, which is a number one, I did want to note two things. Sacrificers, this issue this week is the final issue of this series, double sized,
Ah,
outstanding series. And I Hate Fairyland issue 15. There's something very important about this issue. I'm not going to dig into it, but I just want to note that for readers who may have been holding off for a bit or whatever, just something to take stock of. The book, though, that I wanted to dig into from Image this week, again, like you said, it was tough to kind of parse it down, but number one that I have had flagged for a little bit is Red Roots, which again is written and illustrated by Lorenzo Di Felici. And when we saw the synopsis for this during um, the solicit for April, this was one where it's like, okay, this is giving me a lot. It's very concise. It's like a perfect pitch, but it's also kind of giving me a lot where it's like, is this going to be what the whole first issue is about? In the synopsis, for those who don't know, for Red Roots, the lives of a professional killer and a high school teacher are bound by a terrifying, mysterious force. So I'm like, okay, interesting. I like maybe can take some stabs at it mentally or whatever. The mysterious force does make it a little bit murky, which is good. But I was like, what is this going to turn into? Like first issue, not at all what I expected. In the best of ways, I was blown away by this. The killer is off doing his own thing, bringing an interesting dynamic to the story. Don't get me wrong, and a very necessary dynamic to the story. But what the teacher is going through at the moment in this issue, oh, it only gets more complicated by the issue's end. I'm all in on that character. The teacher is my favorite character for sure. She is great, and I was just like, what this poor woman. It's so good. And throughout this issue, like at first it starts off, you get some action, and then the story kind of moves along from there. And there's still action throughout, but a sense of dread kind of like starts early and then mounts throughout the course of the issue until the very end, and then it's like final page. You're like, what the fuck is going on? I'll tell you right now, there's no book like Red Roots in my stack this week. So if you're looking for something different, if you're looking for a number one to take a flyer on, Red Roots issue 1 from Image. You're muted.
oh Jesus, let's go. Let's go.
If
Let's
someone
go.
if someone was to make a drinking game for our show, I think they'd have to set an over under, or no, they no. Every time Joe is muted, you'd have to like take a shot or whatever the heck that you want to do for that.
I don't want people hearing me typing. Click, 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 click. It's bad audio.
I understand. I get why you do it. Doesn't change the fact that it would be part of the game. All right, from Boom, we got Baby Garfield issue 2, which I know you're loving. Dark Horse, we got Tomb Raider, Sacred Artifact issue 4. All joking aside, I remember you read the first issue. Are you sticking with this, or is it kind of like?
So it's one of those things where I think I said I wanted to read the first issue. I don't know if I've read it yet, but
Okay.
I've been making sure that I download
Uh,
them. I've got them,
gotcha.
so I can go through and because I do
Nice.
want to read it. So at
Yeah,
least
I'm
check it out.
curious. I'm genuinely curious. Like as much as I'm not like it's not one I'm probably gonna read at some point. I'm curious for people who are like you that want to read some Lara Croft stuff. We also got Leonide the Vampire, the House of Yonda issue 2, John le Carre's The Circus Losing Control issue 3, and Hellboy in Love Black Eyes issue 1. I believe this is a one shot. What do we have from Mad Cave, sir?
All right, we have Is Ted Okay issue 3. Did you read this issue?
No, you have dibs on this. I saw you highlight
Oh,
this for
that's
both
right.
of us. Yeah, you have dibs on this.
I I couldn't remember if you read the first issue or not. For some reason, I thought you had. Wild, 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 wild. Dave Chisholm is absolutely crushing it with Is Ted Okay? Issue 3. We have 51, issue 2. We have Flash Gordon Quarterly, issue 7. We have the new Space Age, issue 5. We have Gotchaman, Red Impulse, issue 1. And then again, right, we've got each have a book that we want to discuss from Mad Cave. I feel like, like it was weird. This was a weird week because I
Mm,
felt like on one hand there wasn't a lot of books that I downloaded from the thing for us to read, um, but at the same time, like there is. It was like
yeah,
this weird feeling, right? Because it was all really condensed to 3 publishers, right? Because there wasn't a lot from Dark Horse that we read
right.
this week. There wasn't a lot from Boom this week. I didn't read anything yet from DC, right? So it was like weird. It's like Marvel, Image, and Mad Cave.
Yeah, it can really
Um,
sneak up on you though, because I'm like thinking about what you're saying, and it's like I just did a quick count. I did. There's one book from Marvel that I did not read that I was planning to, maybe a second one, but I read 10 books still for this week.
yeah. I
It's
read a ton. It didn't feel like it, but it's like all of a sudden I'm like, oh, because it was all like, I look at it, I go through this folder, I go through that folder. Okay, I got to read this many from this, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, because it was all condensed into 3. Anyways,
yeah.
people that don't need to know how the
No,
sausage
I
is
think
made.
it. No, I think it's important because we talk about sometimes how like some weeks feel lighter for us, and it's like
Mm,
okay, like there were 3 books that you want to talk about and 3 that I want to talk about, but it was like it's between 4 or 5 books. Whereas this week, like I'm picking from 10, you're picking from probably 10 as well, and like
mm.
there's some crossover for us, but not entirely. So it's like
Yeah.
some weeks are not all weeks are equal.
Not all weeks are equal, baby. That's a fact. But a book I want to discuss
Hmm.
um, is it's, it's for my guy. It's for my guy, Mark London, my guy. Uh, Honor and Curse Eternal, issue 2. This is part of the Underworld universe, written by Mark London, with art by Jaime Infante, and there's something about the books this week, and I think part of why it also feels weak is I think a lot of the books that we read moved at a really fast pace,
Hmm.
right? Like Captain America, right? Action packed, violent, moved at a fast pace. Punisher, action packed, violent, moved at a fast pace. Wolverine weapons, right? They all moved really fast. And so I got through these books pretty quickly. And so Honor and Curse, Eternal issue 2, action packed, violent, moved at a fucking breakneck pace. And when I in discussing the first book and sort of in the series, right, we've got this sort of immortal character that's been suppressing this sort of violent warmongering demon inside them, and just sort of trying to you know do the world a favor by keeping that at bay. But forces are now at play, centuries later, where this character is being Genshi is being drawn out, and we still don't know really, what the purpose for that is. But he's having to defend, you know, this massive empire that he's built, and this vast wealth that he's achieved. And the first issue really gives you a lot of that background, right? And he's just trying his best to suppress this inner sort of, I'm calling it a demon, but it's
Hmm.
keeping it at bay. And in this issue, he's just like, all right, let's dance. And he's sort of accepting fate a little bit. And it just, Jaime Infante's art is so awesome. Right. And I apologize if I've read something else, with their art before, but I feel like this is my first experience.
Hmm.
It's awesome. It's great, right? And this is, you're talking about ninjas and and sort of like special forces and stuff, and just so like the action scenes pop, right? And again, we've talked about this all. I think a great way we like to describe art like this is that it feels cinematic, right? Mike Deodato's great at that. This all feels very cinematic. I would sort of, to me, You know that hallway scene from the first season of Daredevil? Just how
Hmm.
great that was. This is how that art feels. Just like with when the action scenes, it feels very fluid, and so you get a lot of great, just awesome panels, great action scenes, and Mark's just he's so immersed, in this universe that he's created that it's just all the stories just kind of just get better and better and better. So, Honor and Curse Eternal issue 2. You're gonna want to go back, find issue 1 if you haven't read it, and read issue 2. Get on your pull list. It's excellent stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking real quick at Jaime Infante's League of Comic Geeks profile, and I think Jaime's done quite a bit of like cover work. But as far as interiors, one that stands out is a couple issues of Poison Ivy. So,
Yeah, which is not a title I've read, so yeah, it makes
right.
sense why I'm not terribly familiar.
Yeah, so that's definitely someone. This is definitely someone that's new for you for sure. Awesome. Yeah, that I mean it's another quality week from Mad Cave. We got they only have like 6-ish books out this week. And you and I are both talking about a pair. And it's a pair of second issues too. The other book that I want to talk about from them is Exploit issue 2. This is by Tim Leong and Laura Hudson with art by Emiliana Pina. And in the first issue, we get to meet this, this intern at a magazine, and her magazine has just been bought out by this like tech billionaire, and it's basically just getting destroyed. And it's like, this is a familiar thing, unfortunately, and it's taken on a new shape, I think, in recent years. But even when I was coming out of college, it was just like bad stuff was constantly happening in the journalism field. It's just like this is what you're getting into, and this is what it is, and I don't know why you're here, but you're gonna have to try and figure it out. That's how it always felt. But in this, she got an interesting. In the first issue, she got this interesting chance at payback, and in this second issue, things get insane very very quickly. And I was surprised at how fast from like where things ended in that first issue to where things started in this issue. It was just like boom, all right, we're just getting right into it. And as soon as they get into it, things get even crazier. And what's so good about this story is what's also so frustrating about this story. It is turning into a journalist's worst nightmare. I like there's so much anxiety that's coming from the first issue was frustration. The second issue was like worst case scenario, anxiety through the friggin' roof, and I don't know where the hell you go from there in the third issue. I'm excited to see it. We also got some new players who entered the mix as well. One who came onto the scene real late in this issue, who's going to bring a whole different, who at least it seems to be like they're going to bring a whole different dynamic to this story. But Exploit issue 2, like this has been a wild and unexpected series for me.
Oh, ah, love it, love it, love it. Awesome.
Unbelievable. All right, I'm gonna take us through these last few, Joe, before you get into the book that you want to break down. From Oni, we got Murder Drones, issue 3. From Titan, we got Elric, the Sleeping Sorceress, issue 1. From Ignition, we got Ripcord, issue 3, and Roots of Madness, issue 6. From Dynamite, we got Harley Quinn, Elvira, issue 6. Disney Villains, Ursula, issue 3. Thundar the Barbarian, issue 3, which you are reading. Giant Sized Savage Tales, issue 1. And then from IDW, we got A Quiet Place, Storm Warning, issue 2. And The Exorcism at Buckingham Palace, issue 2,